I'm gonna make a little video of myself watching this here Nintendo Direct, and I'm expecting some Kirby stuff. So that should be good. And then, yeah, overall, I think the Direct was pretty good. A very solid Direct, but I think they spent a little too much time on some of the RPG stuff, which is, yeah, I just think a bit too heavy focus on that genre, especially when they were in, like, 8-minute chunks. It was a little heavy. Specifically, Xenoblade 2, I think they went on a bit long on that. Just explaining like the combat system and stuff. It was a little, got a little tired of that. And then Octopath Traveler was another game they showed, and I mean, it's fine. It's to explain a game, but yeah, definitely I think those two sections sort of, I thought, broke up the pace because they're just really, I don't know, they were kind of slow, and explaining an RPG isn't quite as exciting, I think, as new announcements and whatnot. So those were probably the parts I liked the least, but overall, yeah, solid Direct. So yeah, first of all, there was the Pokemon stuff. They showed mostly, I think the biggest new stuff was the new Ultra Beasts, and I thought those looked pretty cool. And it is cool that they're introducing some new Pokemon in there. I appreciate that. I think, yeah, I mean, if nothing else, that's kind of cool. Hopefully there's some more Ultra Beasts. That would be kind of cool. I wouldn't say I'm exactly excited for Ultra Sun and Moon. I mean, I'll get it, but I don't know. Not a whole lot super enticing right now.
Participants download the digital version before January 10th will receive 12 Bitballs.
Goody! But I mean, we'll see. We will see. Maybe it'll be really great. Hard to say at this point. And then they showed Snipper Clips getting DLCs and / a packaged version, Snipper Clips Plus, which is pretty awesome. I think Snipper Clips is a great game, and it's I mean, I'm happy to pay $10 for 2 more worlds. That's great, and yeah, it's a really fun game, and good for Nintendo for getting some new content for it. That's pretty cool, because I think the original game, while it is really great, is somewhat lacking in terms of content. It's kind of short, but now we got more. So and then bizarrely enough, there was Minecraft for Nintendo 3D. Yeah, new Nintendo 3DS announced. So this isn't really something that appeals to me, but Minecraft is obviously a very popular game. So, I mean, I'm sure, yeah, so I guess it's possible to port it to the new Nintendo 3DS, and Mojang was like, okay, we're gonna make some money on this, and then they did. Yeah, I don't know, it was very surprising, especially that it came out after the Direct, and yeah, it was just kind of a thing that happened, and I was like, huh, okay, alright then. Certainly surprising, which is something you definitely want from a Nintendo Direct. There's a little thing I wanted to touch on, is that they showed the game Morphe's Law again.
You've never seen a shooter like this before.
Oh, this shit. Which is just continues to be so goddamn weird. That game just looks incredibly strange. I'm not particularly interested. It doesn't look like my kind of thing, but maybe we'll see. Maybe it'll be great. I don't know. I just wanted to point out that it looks really, really fucking weird. The ARMS DLC coming out the day of the Direct, and downloaded it. Lola Pops, a lot of fun to play. They got the configurable options. I think ARMS is a fucking great game, and I'm happy with the new content updates. And the new characters are like super, like, yeah, the good. I don't know. I think one of the biggest surprises from here is that they announced Doom and Wolfenstein 2 for the Nintendo Switch. Doom being like a port of the I don't know, came out a year or two ago. It came out a bit ago. But that's a modern gen game for like PS4 and whatnot. And, so that coming to Switch is actually a really big deal. That's a really you know, popular game. I really like it. I've played it a bit. I think it's a lot of fun. And that's coming out this holiday, so that's even more surprising. So that's really soon. And then Wolfenstein 2, I think, is really impressive just in that it's you know, it's launching on other systems. So this is an unreleased game that hasn't launched on any consoles, and it's going to be launching on Nintendo Switch alongside the other consoles, which is really great. And you know, it sets a good precedent for other developers. Hopefully getting some other games on Nintendo Switch. And yeah, then they ended the direct on a really fantastic segment on Super Mario Odyssey, which, wow, okay, that game looks like the fucking best game ever made. There's just so many little surprises, little things happening, just like fun details, just fun stuff, and it comes out in like just a bit over a month, which is just hell yeah, dude. I want that game quite a bit, and yeah, man. So the stuff I really want to get in depth with is the Kirby stuff, because holy goddamn, there were 2 Kirby games in a single direct. What are the odds? I expected the 3DS one, because I have not talked about it, even though it's coming out in like less than, I don't know, like 6 months, 5 months, 4 months, something like that. Really short amount of time, and I hadn't shown anything other than the fact that it existed. But now we have seen a trailer, and it looks pretty great! I'm not... Yeah, I wasn't shocked, so I'm sure if I hadn't seen it coming, I would have been like even more excited, but given that I expected it was a little less exciting. However, what we did see is great. You know, I expected something similar to this, sort of fighting multiplayer game. It has 3D like gameplay, like the recent Kirby's Blowout Blast. But this time this is the first time you've been able to use like abilities within like the context of like a 3D space, which is really cool. And it also looks like they have a good roster of abilities. I think there's at least over 10 so far. January 19th is that's a solid date. A lot of Kirby games come out in Japan in January. I don't know if we've ever gotten one in North America or Europe in January, so that's great. And it also looks like there's a good amount of modes. I think they said 10 modes, and the modes they showed looked really interesting. Looked like there's one that's like you collect crystals. There's one where you like fight a boss, and there's one where you just fight each other. Looked like there's some fun stuff happening there. Hopefully the modes are like have enough going on that you're gonna want to replay them over and over again. And yeah, I don't know why they took so long to unveil it, but I'm glad it's here. Another just minor thing I want to notice is that it's been like, so Kirby's existed for like 25 years, and this is like the first real game where there's actually been online functionality, and you know, you'll be able to play with other players online, which is, I think, essential. I think it's a little bit of a shame that maybe it looks like only Kirby's playable. I think it might have been cool to get Kirby. The Kirby series obviously has a lot of playable, or a lot of different characters, and so maybe seeing some more characters other than Kirby might have been nice. But as it stands, it still looks fine. But you know, might have been a little nice. And who knows? Maybe we'll get like King Dedede or Meta Knight. I don't know. Probably not, but it would be cool. Also looks like it has a single player mode, and hopefully that's somewhat extensive. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a full retail 3DS game. So it should have quite a bit of content, at least compared with like the other, with some of the other Kirby releases, Kirby multiplayer releases, such as like Team Kirby Clash Deluxe or Kirby Fighters Deluxe. Given that it's just a full retail game as opposed to a download title, so hopefully it has quite a bit of content. Looks like it's going to. I mean, in terms of the abilities and the modes alone, it's looking quite promising. And yeah, just the final thing is that Nintendo released a sort of Kirby survey in which you can vote on the different abilities. By the way, you should vote for water. And you're voting for the best abilities, and it does mention that, you know, if an ability gets enough votes, it could possibly end up in the Kirby. Oh, it's Kirby Battle Royale is the name of the game. Kirby Battle Royale. So they have like pretty much every ability, probably missing one or two, but they have a little icon indicating if it's in the game or if it if they will not add it to the game. A little red if they won't add it, and a pink Kirby face if it's already in the game. So I voted for water. You should too, because yeah. So hopefully water wins. Anyway, yeah, that's really awesome. I think I love sort of fan feedback stuff like the Smash Bros. Fighter ballot. something similar to that a little bit, and I think that's cool. I think stuff like that is pretty awesome. Kirby Switch!
By someone named.
The second thing is Kirby Star Allies coming into Nintendo Switch next year. It was shown in the Direct. I did not expect to see it really, because I thought 2 Kirby games in one Nintendo Direct, never. That would not happen, and it has happened. And it was pretty great. It was pretty wonderful. The game has a title, Kirby Star Allies, solid title, and for one, Yo-Yo is back. One of the best abilities in the Kirby games. It's back. It's been like almost 10 years since Superstar Ultra, which is like the last game it was in. And it's in another game. It's in this game, and that's great. I'm so happy that Yo-Yo is back. It's one of the best. It's one of the greats. I wanted to talk about. They showed some really cool use of the co-op gameplay. And some sort of the ability mixing, so you can do like a hot air balloon bomb. You can like raise up a statue with ESP and then like and carry it around and drop it on something. Some cool stuff like that. Looks like they have some cool puzzles just based around the sort of cooperative, like working with different abilities. It looks really cool. There have been a lot of recent like miniseries Kirby games, and that's a pretty great way of differentiating itself from the other ones in it. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it really has a multiplayer focus, or cooperation focus, which is awesome. That's sort of what it's about. Another thing is the game just visually looks fantastic. This is the first like main series Kirby game. It's the first Kirby game on Switch. It's only like the second Kirby game on an HD console, and goddamn, it looks wonderful. Kirby really deserves to be seen on an HD screen. Another ability that we've already seen is Broom, but it sort of confirmed some thoughts that I'd seen and that I had. That Broom would sort of be used as sort of a thing to include it would include the different helper or animal friends in its moveset. So we saw Choo Choo, and we saw Pitch, and we saw Nago, we'd already seen Nago. And so I suspect it's just going to be those 3, since Broom is from Kirby's Dream Land 3. We haven't seen it since then. And so it's probably just going to be those 3, not Rick, Kine, and Koo. However, that's still, that's awesome. And that's a really great way of, Broom was one of the abilities that only has like one move where you sweep. And now it will have more, presumably. So we saw, Wispy Woods, and we saw buff fucking King DDD, which is great. How they need to figure out, every single Kirby game pretty much has to have a King DDD boss fight. And they've been doing a good job of like making them all like different, doing a different thing with each one. And this is certainly nothing like any other DDD boss fight we've ever seen. So that's, yeah. And another detail is they talked about this sort of dark energy surrounding the bosses, and so they had Wispy Woods. He's sort of surrounded by a purple aura. King DDD as well, the buff DDD thing. So hopefully that means the return of Dark Matter. That'll be great. Dark Matter's pretty cool. It's a cool plot element, I think. I think it's sort of fun to have this sort of dark energy invading the Kirby world, and you got to stop it, and it gives birth to giant eyeballs, fun stuff like that. I think it's fun, and hopefully that is something that's going on in terms of the story. I'm assuming and hoping spring release. This game, so Kirby Star Allies is going to be released in spring, and that makes a lot of sense. That's kind of what I was expecting, and it should give, so I'm going to predict a May release date. I think that makes sense. That's about when pretty much Kirby games have been launching recently. With Planet Robobot was in June, early June, and Triple Deluxe was in May, and so that's about the time frame they've been at, is sort of late spring. And I think it's probably going to be late spring because Kirby Battle Royale, I think they're going to want to have some breathing room between the 2 titles and not release 2 Kirby games too close to each other, even though they're in different genres. It would make sense if they're somewhat further apart. So that's like pretty much all I got to say about the Nintendo Direct. I think overall it was pretty great. 2 Kirby games is nuts. There were some really fun little surprises. Nothing too major. Mostly expected stuff. in terms of the big things they showed. But there was some little smaller bits of information that were a lot of fun. And you know, the Kirby games. Come on. Whoa. A little too heavy on the RPGs, but apart from that, whoa.
Whoa.